what I think this represents a new day for really are the people who in the last 5 years or so have suffered based on some sort of breakdown of California's regulatory environment. These are the people who lost their lives or their homes in San Bruno, the people who did not get to spend Thanksgiving, Hanukkah, and Christmas with their family in Porter Ranch, and the people who are worried about oil trains rumbling through their communities, and the people who lost their internet service and their phone service with the Frontier merger. So I like to think that this package of reforms represents a new day for all of those people. This does represent, though, a massive realignment of the values for the PUC. I think it will enable them to be more specialized, more focused, basically to have the ability to make safety a priority, to make utility rates a priority, and to make sure that they are serving the public in the best way that they can. The details of the reform, I mean, most of you have some of the handouts, and I want to just go over some of the highlights because I think there's some of them that are sort of underappreciated. The mere fact that the PUC will be transferring some of its non-core responsibilities, these are the things having to do with transportation particularly. These responsibilities have been a tremendous source of acrimony in the last several years. And they've been a tremendous drain on PUC resources. And I think transferring this and realigning the PUC that way will enable the PUC to focus more on utility rates and gas pipeline safety and electrical safety. Allowing PUC meetings to be held across the state. This is very, very important. People who, when we held our hearings on Porter Ranch, there were people out there who had never heard of this entity, and this entity governs so much of life in California now. Requiring or establishing cross-agency secondments. This is very important, believe it or not. We do have to do this by statute, and this would enable these various entities to actually to locate staff within one another, and this enables them to talk better, because one of the things we heard from the public is that Dogger does not talk with the PUC as best as it could, particularly in connection with the Porter Ranch thing. Authorizing the PUC to locate employees in Los Angeles and Sacramento, that's huge. The cost of living in San Francisco is enormous. Letting the PUC hire people here in town who are more, who can answer, I think, a little better to the branches of government located here in Sacramento, that's important. We also authorize the Attorney General to bring an enforcement action in Superior Court against people who are guilty of ex parte violations. That is a huge reform. That is something that we've been waiting for a long time. Buried in this package is something on intervener compensation. I know it's a little bit arcane, but I want to just talk about that a little bit. The current rules at the PUC only allow an intervener to get compensation if that intervener contributed substantially to the judgment. Now, the problem with that, of course, is that if there's a settlement, that makes the intervener more likely to go along to get along because they want their compensation. We have undone that, and that's very important. That means we'll get interveners who participate based on what they think is the right thing to do, and they will have a chance of getting compensated for it. We're also going to make sure that ex parte communications and rate making are posted promptly. And that's not every bit as much for the public and for other parties, and also the media who wants to pay attention to these things. And finally, two more that I want to highlight, and I know everyone's got the handout. Creating a centralized ethics ombudsman within the PUC, and also the creation of a deputy director of safety. These will be powerful positions, folks. These will be positions where somebody will have the ability to red tag something based on the report from any staff or any member of the public. So if a member of the PUC, some relatively junior staffer says, hey, I inspected a facility today and I think it's so dangerous that it needs to be shut down, this person will have the authority to do it. And that's something that they did not have before, and I think it's really, really crucial to make it happen. And then you also, the centralized ethics ombudsman, this is sort of similar to existing whistleblower protections that exist in other branches of government. And I think it's very important that that this person also is the person doing the training to the PUC to make sure that they understand the gift laws and the ex parte rules. So that's a summary of the reforms. I hope you guys will quickly indulge me in a few thank yous. First and foremost, I want to thank the governor. I know that he shares the same respect for the good work that the PUC does that I do, but I also recognize that I think he's come to recognize that the PUC needs some reforms and it needs to put this past behind them. And I think this package enables them to do that, and it will enable the PUC to focus on what's important in the state of California.